Is the end of the Scarlet and Violet era coming soon? What does this mean for sealed product collectors, singles collectors, and the foreseeable future of the Pokemon marketplace? All these answers and more coming in this video. But first, what's going on, everybody? Nick from the TCG Buds here, currently in the dungeon, aka the lab, editing this video. Here to tell you about a giveaway we're going to be having at 1,000 subscribers. To one lucky subscriber, once we hit 1,000, we're going to be giving away a non-Pokemon Center Journey Together ETB, which you'll see right here. To enter, all you need to do is like, comment, and subscribe, as well as be a resident of the United States. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for now, so we'll send you right back. All right, folks, we're not going to waste any time with this one. We're just going to jump right into it, and you're going to see here in front of your screen a report coming from PokeNotify. They're a pretty big Pokemon news outlet that we follow on Instagram. They came out with this post about a week ago saying that murmurings are beginning to look like it's getting confirmed that the Scarlet and Violet era will be coming to an end this September with the release of the new generation set, Mega Evolutions. And when you look at Pokemon as a whole, it kind of makes sense, right? We have Legends Z through A coming out. The focus of that set is on Mega Evolutions again. Pokemon has consistently throughout the years created new generations of cards to track a new game that comes out. So it would make sense that these rumors could potentially be true. Now, what we're going to do here is I'm going to go through each Scarlet and Violet set one at a time and give my discussion, my opinion, as to how the creation of Mega Evolutions and the end of the Scarlet and Violet era is going to impact that set. So we're going to go through all of those, and then I'm going to do some compare and contrasting with Sword and Shield and Sun and Moon sets and give you my final take on everything. So first and foremost, we're going to get into SV01. That is right, Scarlet and Violet base set, a set that people hated for a majority of its print run up until supply just became so limited on Pokemon cards that everyone just wants them to open. They started opening Scarlet and Violet base set, and they're like, wow, there's actually some decent cards in here. So when you look at the booster box pricing on this set, over the last year, it has done nothing but gone up. And of course, that is going to make sense as the print run begins to go down over time. It's no longer being printed. You see booster boxes of September of last year going for $109. A store couldn't pay somebody to buy Scarlet and Violet base set, and now it is peaking at $206.14. So Scarlet and Violet base set, given that it's no longer in print, once Mega Evolutions comes out, that set is just going to keep on going up for sealed product. Now, to compare that with the current singles price, you see the most expensive card is the Gardevoir EX at $45.10. Now, this current singles market is one of the lowest I have seen in recent memory. And I know a lot of people have said that typically around the summertime, you'll see single prices and Pokemon market in general go down because people are utilizing their money to take their families out. They're not buying Pokemon cards like people have a tendency of doing in the colder months. And that makes sense. But when you look at these graphs, this is just extreme for a lot of these cards, right? So in this situation with the Gardevoir, it's gone up, and it's likely gone up because exactly what I've said, which is that there's no print run. But what you'll see in some of the later sets is the card pricing is just no longer matching the booster box pricing. It's not even the same universe, right? So, I mean, I can pull up the classic Drowsy here, which this card borderline got pump and dumped Pokemon edition, where it peaked at $65 and now it's come back to reality at $28. But regardless, guys, the point I'm trying to hammer home here is a booster box price of Scarlet and Violet base set is $206. Meanwhile, you can buy the first two rows. You can essentially buy almost every card in this set for the price of one booster box, and that is pretty unheard of when it comes to modern Pokemon sets. So moving on from that, we're going to SV02, good old Paldea Evolved. Current booster box pricing $297, again peaking all-time high right now. Again, you look at the 1 year graph, looking at September 24 or September of last year, you could get it for $142.45 a box. Now it is over double that. And again, the thing about SV01, SV02, these are no longer in production. They're no longer being manufactured. As the market begins to lose more and more, supply starts to disappear over time, these sets are just going to continuously go up because there's no more in production. Now, in comparison, when you look at the overall singles price, again, the number one hit being the Magikarp, a card that has gone down. Excuse me, it is looks like it's so progressively going up over time, but in compared to its peak, I mean, I've seen this card go for over $200 before. And let's put it on near mint. Maybe that's why. So here, this is what we're talking about right here. This card peaked, and this is peak Pokemon pricing in February of this year for $277, folks. $277. That is $20 less than the current booster box pricing. Now this card has dropped down almost $100 and is currently going for $191. Again, given this set is no longer in print, it's likely the sealed product is going to go up, but the singles market is the best it has been in recent memory in order to try to get some of these grail cards you might be looking for while they're out of print. And again, as the print is gone, the sealed product has a tendency of going up over time, and the singles cards, not so much for a lot of these sets when you're looking at Sword and Shield and Sun and Moon Era, which we'll get into later. But it doesn't make sense that it's happening this early for Scarlet and Violet, which is why I personally think it's a great time to buy singles cards. I think these cards have a tendency to go up over time into a more in the 200 range for at least this Magikarp. But again, you're seeing these discrepancies that aren't making much sense between the singles and the box prices. Typically, with modern sets, you see, and by modern, I mean like last 2 generations worth, you see a similarity between the most expensive card in the set and the box pricing, which is not the case with Scarlet and Violet. And I think the reason why is because of the low print on most of these sets. You just can't find this stuff at all. All right, moving on, SV03. Obsidian Flames. This is one of the most egregious examples of what I'm going to tell you in terms of discrepancy between card pricing and sealed pricing. So you have a booster box of Obsidian Flames right now going for $250.81. Again, Obsidian Flames is supposedly no longer in print. You can still get packs here and there, kind of like what happened with some Sword and Shield products for the last 6 months, where Pokemon Company will slip in a couple packs with some sealed product here and there. But allegedly no longer being print in terms of mainline printing. You have it peaking right now, and when we look at the year, as of October of last year, a booster box of Obsidian Flames going for $129. It is over $100 increase in, what is this, like 8 months? I mean, this is ridiculous what's going on with the sealed product market for Scarlet and Violet. Now, in comparison, again, one of the most egregious things I've seen, the top hit in this set right now, the Charizard EX, is going for $58. $58, and I mean, look at this. It is just, the singles market is absolutely tanking right now. So this card peaked at the beginning of the year for $86 and is currently going for $58.59 near mint. Meanwhile, a box is 5 times the price nearly. In what universe would you ever want to open up Obsidian Flames at this point when you can get the single card for $58? Now, I understand that there is an attractiveness to wanting to have the experience of pulling a card and hitting it, but the thing is, if you're looking at a master set, you can buy almost an entire master set of Obsidian Flames. Or not, you might actually be able to buy an entire master set of Obsidian Flames for the price of 1 box, folks. And that's the alarming thing about all of this, is the sealed market is just growing so exponentially, and the singles cards aren't doing it. They're not growing with the sets. So again, as time progresses, Obsidian Flames no longer in print run, that sealed product is just going to go up even more because, again, a lot of these sets just weren't print very much, especially most recently over the last 6 months. So, normally Pokemon Company, they're on a set list with printing, and they like to have a good variety of different sets being print. But as we'll discuss with sets like Stellar Crown, a lot of these sets just were not printed enough at all. And unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get printed anymore. Moving on, we have Scarlet and Violet Pokemon 151. Okay, so this one's a little bit different in that we have a specialty set here. So current booster box pricing our booster bundle pricing on 151 is $67. Now, I think, pricing for this set has fluctuated pretty consistently depending on print. Everyone has always been talking about how much printing has been done on this set, and I agree. I think Pokemon Company did a fantastic job getting this set out to the masses. But unfortunately, all good things have to come to an end. Although you still see 151 coming out in batches at retailers and even on sometimes on the Pokemon Center website, inevitably it's going to come to an end. And when it does, I think Pokemon 151 is going to have a similar trajectory to Crown Zenith for Sword and Shield, in that it was widely available for so long, and then once it disappeared, the price just skyrocketed. So sealed product for 151, even booster bundles, I think is going to go up pretty heavily over time. But moving on to the singles side of it, you have the Charizard, which very recently was at sub $200. So about a week ago, this card was under $200. And again, this card has just absolutely tanked over time, which is shocking to me, because Scarlet 151 brought a lot of people back to collecting. It brought me back to collecting. This is a fantastic card, one of the most popular Pokemon in Charizard, and you have even this card being hit by the overall deterioration of the singles market right now over the summer. So you have in March peaking 287, insanity 287, currently at 209, but again, bottomed just a week ago at 194.22. That is a huge downturn, nearly $100. Again, guys, the point I'm going to hammer home this entire video is that if you can't get any sealed product, don't be disappointed. Now's the time, if you're really master setting, get some singles. Unfortunately, for a lot of these sets, as print goes away, the sealed product is just going to be harder and harder for you to acquire. So if you're not able to get anything right now, it might just be beneficial to look forward to the singles and utilizing your resources over on that if you're looking to master set. Again, I understand people love ripping product, but the singles market, it's in an unbelievable position to be able to buy stuff. Okay, so now we're moving on to SVO4. We have Paradox Rift. Booster box pricing currently at $209.49. Again, another set that's boomed over time. So you have Paradox Rift at October last year going for $104.92 a box. Currently at $209, gone up over 100%. Over 100% in 8 months, guys. And again, the catalyst for this is just that there's no print. Everyone wants to open product right now, and there's just no product to open for a lot of these sets, especially the older Scarlet and Violet sets. So if Scarlet and Violet does come to an end, Pokemon Company is not going to keep printing this stuff, guys. They're not. If you can't find this stuff now, it's just going to be harder and harder to find it over time. Looking at the singles prices for Paradox Rift, most expensive card is the Groudon at $71. Again, it costs 30% of what a box costs to get the #1 hit in a set. Unheard of for modern Pokemon sets. Typically, again, there's always a mirror matching between the singles, the #1 singles card price and the booster box price. It is not the case right now, and supply and demand is likely the reason to blame for that. After that, we have another specialty set with Paldean Fates, one of my favorite. You have the Paldean Fates booster bundle going for $57. ETB, I remember when you could buy these from Target 6 months ago for $40, less than that. I remember I picked one up for like $29.99, and now it's going for $137 for Paldean Fates ETB. Now, this is one of the few sets, of course, given the top 3 hits, where the card pricing makes sense for the actual box and sealed product pricing. You have the Bubble Mew at $303 right now. The Charizard EX, fantastic card, going for $180, and the Gardevoir EX going for $80. There's also a lot of minor hits that do retain some value, especially with these baby cards. So you have the shiny Pikachu at $32.50, the Charmander at $22.16. Scrolling down a little bit more, you even have the Lucario. You have the shiny Lucario at $10.42. There is a lot of retained value in the set, which is why, in terms of seal, if you're looking to buy some sealed product and keep it for your sealed collection, I think Paldean Fates is pretty good, and I think that the set is going to retain a lot of value over time, again, as printing is reduced even more with the release of Mega Evolutions. So after that, we have Temporal Forces. We're moving on to SVO5. Current booster box pricing, $212.22. We're going to pull that up for the last year. You're just going to see this trend throughout all these sets, guys, blowing up. So October last year, it was going for $115.74. Currently at $212, nearly $100 jump in price in less than 8 months. Insanity. Meanwhile, when you look at singles prices, Raging Bull EX is the #1 hit in the set, going for $82.06. Let's go ahead and let's look at, I mean, people aren't even buying this card, which is insanity. So typically when you see that message from TCG Player, it means that people aren't buying it. Could be on lightly played, double check. And this card, again, absolutely has just tanked. Peaked. Looks like it peaked in December of last year at 108.56. Hit a second all-time high, 106.45 a couple months ago. And now it has dropped $20. Substantial drop in this card to 82.06. I mean, the singles market is just it's in one of the most prime positions I've seen for people to be able to buy cards for Master Set, guys. Iron Crown, again, I'm sure the trajectory in all these cards is likely the same. So we're just going to move on to the next after that. Twilight Masquerade. And this is where you really start to see some crazy stuff. Twilight Masquerade is a set that a lot of people have been able to find for many months. This is a set that is still in print. Pokemon Company has been pumping it out. You've been able to get it with the Ogre Pond stuff. I know Pokemon Company, I think they recently announced that they're going to be creating an Ogre Pond mask, like inspired UPC based off of Twilight. And I mean, this is a, out of most Scarlet Violet sets, I would say Twilight is one of the most accessible ones for people to have locally to them, either at a card shop or retailer. So you have a booster box of Twilight going right now for $230.50. And again, Twilight's kind of follow the same trajectory of 151 as it goes up, it goes down. It all depends because there's a lot of it that's being printed consistently. So when you look at the 1 year mark on Twilight, it has gone up, but again, it hit 230 in February, then it dropped back down to 207, now going back and up to 230.50. It's followed a little bit of a flow state in terms of trajectory. This is one of the sets where you can likely get a booster box for still a fair price as it's still in print run. Again, over time, as it starts leaving print run, you're going to see it go up more over time in terms of the cost. However, in comparison, we're looking at the singles prices. The Greninja EX SIR. I personally bought this card for what I thought was a fantastic price about 3 or 4 months ago, and I paid like $370 for it. And when you look at it now going for $295, all I can think of is how much regret I have potentially, because this card is absolutely tanking. Peak 405.66, folks, in February of this year. Within 3 months, the card has dropped over $100 in price. And again, I think the Greninja SIR is a fantastic card. I think it's likely over a $300 card, which is why I felt okay buying it at that price that I was able to. But I mean, this is insanity, guys. Is that you're just seeing cards fall off a cliff right now in the singles marketplace over this summer. Next up, Shrouded Fable, one of AJ's least favorites, and that's in mine too. This set is just very underwhelming, especially when it comes to the singles. We have a ETB going for $56.29. Shocking to me. You couldn't get me to buy a Shrouded Fable ETB for $30 about 6 months ago, and it's still very hard for me to look at these prices. But again, sealed product market blowing up because there's just not a lot of this product available, and the product that is available is being purchased immediately. So $56.29. Again, Mega Evolutions comes out. Shrouded Fable still likely going to be in print, guys. So if you're concerned about getting any Shrouded Fable, it will likely still be in print for a while. You won't struggle with it. It won't be the end all be all if you don't have any Shrouded Fable right now. But when you look at the single prices, #1 card is the Gold Earth Vessel, of course, very meta card, $48.41. Pheasantipity after that, again, another meta card, $47.49. The Persian, one of the most popular cards recently that has fallen off a cliff as well over this summer, where it peaked at $75. Again, you can make the argument this card was subject to some market manipulation. I don't know, maybe some Discord groups, people bought out the card, who knows. But it peaked $75, and now it is hitting a low over the last 4 months at $44.71. An absolute amazing time to be able to get this card for your master set if you're looking to do so. Again, though, this set is still going to be in print. Do I think the single prices on these cards are going to drop even lower? It's possible. I don't know, guys. The single market is very hard to predict right now. Again, because a lot of people have said that what's usually the case for summer is people exit the hobby, okay? It might make sense for why singles prices are dropping, but this substantially is raising some alarm bells to me. After that, we have Stellar Crown. To me, one of the most criminally underappreciated sets in recent times. You have a booster box of Stellar Crown going for $211 right now. And I remember this set locally to me within 3 weeks of coming out, was going for under $100 a booster box. Under $100 a booster box. And TCG Player has listed 105.04. For me personally, I was able to find a booster box. I think it was on OfferUp for like 95 bucks. 105.18 in October of last year, now peaking 211, gone up over $100. And the thing about Stellar Crown that I feel like a lot of people don't understand or appreciate is this set was not printed at all. At all. It's still not being printed. I mean, you can't find Stellar Crown anywhere. And this is a very new set, right? Like, for the older sets, Obsidian Flames, I've found more Obsidian Flames, Twilight Masquerade, Paldea Evolved, 151 than I have for Stellar Crown. Meanwhile, Stellar Crown came out a year after these sets. Like, it doesn't make sense why Stellar Crown is not being printed more. And the only thing that can explain that is that the Pokemon Company is at max capacity right now, trying to meet the demand for the modern, the even more modern sets that came out some months after this, and trying to create Destined Rivals and the Black and White set, and they're just not able to keep up with this, guys. There's just no way. So when you look at this for trajectory for Stellar Crown, $212 a booster box currently. Meanwhile, the singles prices, I mean, what is going on? The Squirtle, fantastic card, of course, illustration rare, going for $60.19 right now, guys. $60.19. The number one hit in the set is $60, and a booster box is $211, guys. I mean, again, if now is the greatest time than ever to be able to master set. The singles prices with the development of Mega Evolutions, will the singles go up over time? It's possible, but my question is, how is there such a large discrepancy between the singles prices and the sealed product? I mean, it is for new sets. This is unbelievable. So we're gonna look at the Terrapagos, and its absolute downfall ever since this set came out. I think it's pretty criminal. I think this card is great. I think it's definitely worth more than $49. It peaked on release at 151, which makes sense, but it's just gone down over time. 113 in September of last year, and now all-time low $49. That is you pretty much just think it's falling off a cliff. I mean, this looks like a cliff at this point. I think this card is criminally undervalued. It should be worth way more. This is at least, to me, a $100 card all day. Again, market disagrees, but if you're concerned about Scarlet Violet ending and you want a complete master set, buy these singles immediately. Okay. Next up, Surging Sparks or Surging Farts, a set that's had a lot of mixed feelings and reviews. We have the Surging Sparks booster box, $237 right now, similar to Twilight and 151. It's kind of been going back and forth on this trajectory. So you have Surging Sparks peaking at $265.98 a box February this year. It's gone down a little bit at $237.02. I think the most notable thing to look at this set is the singles in terms of the box pricing. Surging Sparks still is similar to Stellar Crown, actually different, but kind of similar to Stellar Crown in that different is definitely being printed more than Stellar Crown, but same in that there's just not enough of this product, guys. Everyone wants these sets, and Pokemon Company cannot. They just can't keep up with the demand. They just can't. And unfortunately, when you're on a slate where you're running 10 different sets, you have to diversify how much of each you're going to print. And obviously, you're going to print less of the older sets and more of the newer sets, right? So your Prismatic, Journey Together, when Destined Rivals comes out, Destined Rivals. And unfortunately, these sets are just going to suffer from lack of print. Sealed product going to go up exponentially as we enter the Mega Evolutions era. Okay, but now we're going to look at the singles prices for Surging Sparks because I think this is very interesting. The Pikachu. I was shocked. I haven't looked at card pricing for Surging Sparks in probably a couple weeks. And I saw the Pikachu is going for $287.63, and I couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it. Like, there's no way this is right? Like, this has to be incorrect. No, near mint, it is going for this price. And if we're talking about a cliff, folks, this is the cliff. If you've been watching people talk about their opinions on this Pikachu, in terms of like Danny Phantom or Pokieni, even Rattle, I watch Rattle a lot for his videos and his content's great. They all said that this Pikachu was way overvalued and was going to fall off a cliff at some point, and we're seeing it live in front of our eyes, guys. This card has dropped nearly $200. $200 in less than 6 months. Holy smokes. And the thing about this is the print is still incredibly hard to find this set, right? Like, you can find some Surging Sparks pretty easily in some blister boxes, some mini tins. I know the Slashing tin that just came out has a couple packs of Surging Sparks, but it's not like it's an abundance. It's not like the set is sitting on shelves. You have booster box pricing going for $237, and finally you're seeing a mirrored price between the #1 hit and the booster box pricing. I feel like that's a rarity for a lot of these sets, but this card falling off a cliff is, I think, partially justified. I don't think this is ever worth of $500 nearly. I think this is more like a $300 card, which is kind of where it's at right now, but still $200, man. Jesus. If you're trying to finish Surging Sparks, buy it now. For anyone who's been following us, AJ has been trying to complete Surging Sparks since the set release. He only needs the Pikachu and the Milotic, and now more than ever, I literally messaged him before making this video saying, dude, you gotta buy this right now. Okay, moving on. Traumatic Evolutions. The set Pokemon Company didn't say explicitly, but implied they're gonna print to the ground. You have booster bundle pricing on Prismatic Evolutions right now, $73. ETB's going for $120. And again, this has been flip-flopping back and forth, but this has been pretty healthy progression for the set. Obviously, very hype set. Peaked bundles, $109 when they first dropped down to $81.49. Now it's $73, reaching potential all-time lows. I think this is a fair price for this set. Prismatic Evolutions, it is the evolving skies of the Scarlet Violet era. As we enter into Mega Evolutions, you can still expect a lot of print to be coming out for this set, which is great. I think Pokemon Company should print this to the ground, given how bad the hit rates are on it. But don't panic, guys. If you're not able to get any of this stuff, hopefully you'll be able to get some sealed product in the future. Definitely want to hold on to a little bit of that. For Evolving Skies, it is going through the roof right now. So fast forward a couple years, this set will likely follow the same trajectory as we go to Mega Evolutions and even after that generation. So definitely worth it. Looking at singles prices, again, the tank is hitting. Even the Umbreon is not immune to this tank that is happening to all these cards. So right now, you have the Umbreon peaking right when set released, 1600. Makes sense that it would be that high, given the set just came out. But about a month later, still at 1600, and then you just see it fall off a cliff the last month and a half, hitting all-time low 1248.49. Do I think this card is worth that? Personally, I think this card is, again, it is the Scarlet and Violet era version of the Umbreon from Evolving Skies, which has been sitting around $1,500. I think this card is probably worth about that. Is it likely to go up over time? Probably, but again, given how much is in print right now, you never know with how many more Umbreons might appear. Again, hit rates in the set aren't terrible, but they're absolutely abysmal to better describe that. But worth it, I think, to pick up the card. It might fall off a little bit more. I don't know, but if you really are itching for Umbreon, now's a good time to pick one up. After that, we have the most recent set, Journey Together, where we have the enhanced booster box, which is of course the one that's readily available to everybody, going for $204.12. I think Journey Together has really snapped the marketplace back into reality in terms of collecting in general. You have it peaking pre-release $275.81, fell off a cliff, currently at $204.12. I think that's a fair value for this set. I think this set is great, and I think the card pricing matches the box pricing for this set pretty well, as we'll see right now with the Lily's Clefairy, of course, another card that is just driven off a cliff recently. It's going for $162.37, slightly off in terms of what the current box pricing is, $40 discrepancy. But again, you should see that kind of a mirroring between the set's sealed pricing and the singles pricing. So this is a very healthy set in terms of what it's supposed to look like. A lot of these older sets that we've seen, Paldea, Evolved, it implies that the market's already been hit by the fact there's just no print. So you get it peaking on pre-release or on release $236.60. Since then, snap back to reality, $162.37. I think this is probably I think $200 is a fair price for this card. It's a great card. I would definitely want to have it in my personal collection. So if you're looking to pick it up, $162.37 seems like a fair price to me. Again, similar to Prismatic, as we enter into the Mega Evolutions era, this set is not going to be hit very hard. Likely Pokemon Company is going to be printing this set for a while, similar to what we saw with some of the older Sword and Shield sets, Crown Zenith, being one of them, of just constantly, it was in print for a long time going into Sword and Shield, going into the Scarlet Violet era. So again, if you don't have any Journey Together right now, don't panic, guys. Likely going to be able to get a lot of that in the future. Okay, after that, we're going to, of course, the upcoming set coming out in a little bit over a week at this point, Destin Rivals. We can't really go into much detail on this one just because pre-sale pricing isn't really indicative of what the fair pricing is going to be on the set after the dust settles. Right now, you're looking at booster box pricing at $262.73, which honestly, I don't think is that bad. I think this set is great. 25th anniversary of the Rocket set. I believe it's 25th anniversary, but regardless, anniversary of the Rocket set. I think the set looks great. The Mewtwo, fantastic card. I think the Moltres is probably my favorite card in the set. So there's definitely a lot of cool singles in this. Hopefully we'll see a mirror between box pricing and the singles pricing, which I think we will. I think $262 is pretty fair. You're likely to see the Mewtwo at that price. And again, guys, Destin Rivals, Journey Together, Prismatic, even Surging Sparks are likely going to be printed pretty heavily going into the Mega Evolutions era if it does indeed get announced that in September we're starting a new generation. So don't sweat it too hard. Don't sweat it too hard if you don't have any in the single product. You'll definitely be able to get some. And now to some speculation. The black and white set. Again, another post from PokeNotify that they had on their Instagram recently stating that they have some alleged insider sourcing that the black bolt and white flare set that's coming out here is going to have some very, very big shortage issues. Now, what's my opinion on this? I've done some research on it. There's some people saying that apparently the print is supposed to be worse than Prismatic Evolutions, which Prismatic already had a pretty bad print run. And I'm kind of conflicted in that this set has so many cards, I feel like you have to print it to the ground, right? So although it might have a severe shortage now, the explanation for that makes sense, right? Pokemon Company has already announced that they're going to print Prismatic to the ground. Announced, but they imply that they're going to print a lot of it. You have a 151 still coming out. Journey Together is still coming out in its cycle. People still are asking for Surging Sparks. There's still a lot of printing for older sets that Pokemon has to catch up on. So something has to give, right? They cannot just keep printing everything at max capacity. They cannot do it. They're on a printing run. Some things have to give. And if it's the black and white set that has to give, it makes sense because it's the newest set. And they can catch up like they have been on these other Scarlet Violet sets on the print run at a later time. Essentially like they're procrastinating on the print of this set, which I don't blame him, right? I think it's not the worst idea. If anything, what this tells me is do not panic buy this set when it first comes out. Likely they're going to print a lot of it over time. And again, going into Mega Evolutions, this is the last Scarlet Violet set. We're going to see a lot of this in the future, guys. It's not going anywhere. So don't panic if you saw this post or if you're afraid of getting any black bone white flare. I struggle myself with giving into some FOMO, but this one I feel very confident in. Do not panic, guys. They're going to have to catch up on the print run. Like, they don't have a choice, especially for the newer sets. So, I think like 400 IRs? I mean, every Pokemon in the generation is getting an IR for a black and white set. So, it's a very big set. Don't panic about trying to get completed all at once. Take your time. Now, we're going to do some contrasting to Sword and Shield, which has just been blowing up recently, guys. Blowing up. And again, the point of me doing this is to show you what you can expect the trajectory to look like for a lot of these older sets in Scarlet and Violet that are exiting their print run. Darkness Ablaze, no longer in print. You have a Darkness Ablaze booster box going for $232.33. Personally, I was not a big fan of this set. Again, all-time highs right now. It's all-time high in $232.33. It's one of its lows as of November last year was $150.25. Again, a lot of people like Darkness Blaze because it's Charizard set. I think this set is very underwhelming. And when you look at the sealed pricing or the singles pricing, I think it's very indicative of that. $36 is the most expensive card in the set. $36, guys. Meanwhile, a box costs, what, 6x, 7x more than that? Like, if you're looking to complete your Darkness Blaze set, just buy the singles, guys. If you want to get a booster box, though, Darkness Blaze is one of the most affordable Sword and Shield era sets. Again, no longer in print. With Mega Evolutions coming out, these sets are just going to keep on going up over time because they're no longer in print run. And again, so likely some Sword and Shield or some Scarlet and Violet sets are going to follow the same trajectory. But anyways, after that, of course, you have the Big Daddy itself. Evolving Skies, which has just been going to the moon recently. Booster box 1628. And the funny part is that Evo Skies was kind of sitting at a certain price, and you see it right here, right? So it was just sitting around this price of $1,300 a box since February of this year, just sitting. And then all of a sudden, it started booming. And now what's the cause of that? And I think what's the cause of it is that there's just no product available, guys. Like, don't get me wrong, a lot of people, Sword and Shield is still a pretty recent generation. And while Evo Skies has left its print run, people understand that, when it's a set this popular, it's likely going to go up over time. Less product is in the supply chains because no longer in print run. People are going to buy more of it. They might rip it. They might keep it sealed. But the point is, there's continuous transactions of buying the product, and there's no supply being printed. So what happens? It goes up. So I think Evo Skies jumping up was very fair. I personally, my opinion on this, I think this is a $5,000 set. Might even be worth $10,000 over time, but definitely in my eyes, I can see the set being going for $5,000. Not anytime soon, maybe within the next 2 to 3 years, but I mean, this is the staple set, guys. This is one of the biggest modern sets ever created in a lot of people's minds, and I think as kids get older, they're going to want Evo Skies, right? So looking at the singles prices, the Moonbryon going for $15.11. I think this is a lot of these singles are going for pretty fair prices at this point. I think $15.11 for the Moonbryon, not the worst. Definitely not the worst in my opinion. You have it going up and down, kind of following this trajectory. It's actually all-time low, which is shocking to me. I didn't realize this. All-time low for this year right now, $15.11. So I personally would love to have a Moonbryon in my collection, and we might have to make a decision on this one because there might not be a better opportunity than right now for these cards. I think the Moonbryon, again, it's hard to make the call, right? Like when you think of Gold Stars, it was just a different era. Like the availability of those cards is so limited. Meanwhile, you have the cards like the Moonbryon. When you look at the overall graded card comparisons, right? Like there are substantially more Moonbryons that have been graded than a Gold Star Umbreon, for example. It was a different time. So I think the singles market, again, likely to go up over time, but there are a lot of cards that have of these generations recently that have been graded. So after that, we're going to look at Fusion Strike, which has also been blowing up, absolutely blowing up recently. Rightfully so. I think this set's a pretty good set with the Gengar, of course, being the #1 hit. But you have booster box pricing going for $722, guys. Absolutely just erupting recently. Let's look at the 1 year on this guy. Interesting. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyways, so I mean, just look at this. This was going for $242.56 November last year. It's 3x since then, guys. And again, Sword and Shield just going to keep on going up over time for sealed products as we get into Mega Evolutions. And again, as sets leave print, you're going to see them go up more over time. And that includes the Scarlet Violet Era stuff. So they're likely going to follow the same trajectory. And then the singles prices, of course, you have the Gengar 579, which I think is pretty fair for that card. The Espeon, which is personally my favorite card in the set, is $296.82. Again, just let's see what the Gengar's looking like for the year. Actually, it's tanking a bit. It peaked at 744.80 raw. That's a 579. Again, good opportunity to back up a Gengar if you're looking 1-for-1. And the last set we're gonna look at a couple Sword and Moon era stuff. We're getting pretty far back in the past right now. You have a Cosmic Eclipse booster box from Sun and Moon going for $3,000 right now. And again, this stuff is just impossible to find at this point, guys. Again, just going up so much over time. You have it on March of this year going for $1,300, and it's just been booming with team up card just going up more and more over time. You're seeing the sealed product version going up over time, and that makes sense, right? Because again, if the singles prices are going up exponentially, then the sealed product is going to be tracking that. But for these older sets like Sun and Moon, you see a split off at some point where the sealed product goes up substantially and the singles don't really track. But however, if people want to hit these cards, they have to buy the sealed product, right? They have to buy the sealed product for it. And if there's not any sealed product left, it's going to cost a lot of money, which is what's going on here. So lowest listed is $3,400. Last sale on it has been $2,490. So that's the current market price. And again, there's just none of this product. There's none of this product. Like you see this numbers being different because there's not enough product going around to adjust the market price in TCG Player. There's just not. And lastly, of course, we're going to look at Burning Shadows, 562.54, another Sun and Moon era set. Again, peaking all-time high right now. You have last sale at $825.99, guys. $825.99, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to keep going up over time because this product doesn't exist. That's the reality of it. And that, folks, is likely what we can expect many years down the line when it comes to the Scarlet and Violet sets. Anyways, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you so much for going on this journey with me. I know it was a lot of information, so to give you a quick little TLDR as to my opinions on everything is that anything after SV04 or SV05, you'll likely be okay with in terms of not buying any sealed product now. Wait to see if you can find a potential restock since it's still in print at a retailer or a local game store to you that's fair price. Meanwhile, anything before then, you might want to jump on the train if you really want some sealed product to throw in that into your sealed collection sooner rather than later. If you're looking to master set, guys, singles market is so good right now. I urge you to look at completing your master sets now more than ever. But let me know your thoughts, guys. You think I'm full of it? You think I'm an idiot? You completely agree with me? Let me know how you like the video. I know this is our first time kind of doing a overall review of the marketplace here on our channel, but let me know what you guys think. Anyways, guys, this has been Nick from the TCG Buds, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.